because your wife may be doing her best. She may be cooking very well.
Yeah.
She may be making sure your home is clean. She may be doing her best. And you have heard what somebody's wife is doing, or you saw something. And bear in mind, what you are seeing is what the person wants you to see. That's it.
Dear listener, your dial is on 97.3 City FM. The program is Bible Answer Man with Reverend Fred McDavis this evening. Excited to have Reverend Emmanuel Oko Mensah, and our conversation borders on praying through difficult times. Pastor Oko,
Yes,
does a proper and appropriate understanding of our faith play a certain role in how what we describe as difficult?
Also, when I was given this subject, I'm in preparing for this. You see,
Yeah.
I think I even mentioned it before we started that an understanding of our faith is very important in handling difficult seasons. If you feel that those there are people who like extremes, people who are so swing to the dominion, decree and declare extreme,
Exactly.
that everything is
It's just about that.
yes. Everything is just about that. You decree and you declare. You have dominion. You have control. You see, there's a lady that I used to ask, "How are you?" Said, "I'm in charge." Hey, also Charlie, maybe you are in charge. Really? You have not seen some
I
things
am
before.
on top.
I am on top. Hey, you have not seen some things before. You see, so when we understand that certain things are actually part of the faith, it would help you not to get into desperation. And I just listed a number of things, the difficult seasons or difficult times.
Let's look at it, Bishop.
Difficult times, examples of difficult times. I've been a pastor for some time. I started pastoring when I think I was in third year at Tech, and then we were sent out to start branches of the denomination I was in then. So that would be the year 2000. You see, so I've been pastoring in a sense
For a
for
long
26 years. So I have seen difficult seasons, difficult times. I have experienced difficult times myself.
Not only in the country, outside the country.
Yes.
In countries where the language was different.
Yes. I've experienced all kinds of things. I've been in the pit. I've been in the fire, the water, the flood. I've experienced things. So examples of difficult seasons. I have 7 examples here. I just thought of an 8th one. For example, the death of a loved one. The death of a loved one, someone who is close. You see, if you haven't experienced it, all of us will experience it. Yes, also for me, it's not a case. It's just a reality, just part of life. Death of a loved one. Another difficult time is difficulty or disappointment in getting a life partner. There are people who have been through that, especially our sisters. Sometimes it's inexplicable. You just can't understand. Is it that I am not beautiful enough? Is it a perception of I'm proud? Some are also told that when you are driving a car, men see you as whatever. So then there are people, believe it or not, who are counseled that even if your office gives you a car, it will intimidate men, so don't drive the car. All kinds of funny things. Difficulty or disappointments in getting a life partner is another difficult season. Marital pain. Now you have a partner, but the pain in the marriage, a turbulent or a difficult marriage, difficulty in getting the fruit of the womb. All these things are realities that many Christians go through. Yes. Thank you very much, Osofu. You sent me the distance. You see, so all these are difficulties that we go through as Christians. I've mentioned, we are saying that praying during difficult seasons.
Yeah.
You see, so
the first is the loss of a loved one.
The loss of a loved one. Yes.
Marriage issues,
Yeah.
either a delay or
delay.
getting married,
Yes.
and then it comes with some complexities.
Yes, the difficult marriage, turbulent marriage, and its effect on you. Sometimes the effect of the marriage you are seeing, and it's not your fault. There are times when it's Osuban. It's your character, it's your behavior. But there are times when it's actually the lady you
have nothing to do.
Nothing. You are doing your best. You are trying very hard. The difficult season is there, and then the fruit of the womb. I'm talking about. I'm mentioning things that affect us as Christians. You see, the things that affect us as Christians, and then of course, it causes us to pray more or beyond the prayer, because some of the things that I prepared, I typed and pulled down. Sometimes it goes beyond just prayer. It goes to right now you are receiving a direction. Do this, do this. I'll mention some things. You see, so that's one thing. Difficulties in your finances, a job, losing a job, the job not working, business not working. You get what I'm saying? These are difficult seasons. You are going down. Your investments, bad things are happening.
Is indebtedness part of it?
It's part of it, Osofo. It's part of it, because you didn't
Where
see.
you're owing.
You are owing so much.
You're owing there.
You are owing.
You know, there are places you can't even pass again. There are some calls you can't pick.
You can. Oh, Osofo. and then some people enter into lies.
Yeah.
Tell their wife and their children that if somebody comes and says he's looking for me, tell them that I'm not in the house. You know, all kinds of things. So you would see that all these things are part of the difficult season. You would just see that, you are going through these things, and you are a Christian. And some may make you feel like you are responsible for your difficult season. You are not responsible for your difficult season. You are not. It's just a reality. It's just part of life. So finances, work, business, things going south. And sometimes you invest heavily in something. Then at a point, the thing goes out of fashion. One example I keep using is, some time ago, we used to have video libraries and things like that. You see, video libraries, seriously. Then they had Blu-ray and all kinds of advanced, DVD systems. Totally useless now. So if you invest heavily
in those things,
yes, and a technological development makes it useless, then you would see that you can't say that.
Some time ago, we used to have communication centers, and it was everywhere.
Yes, center.
Yeah.
How can you be dealing with center right now?
No, everybody has a mobile phone.
Yeah. In fact, even downloading movies, it's all here on the phone. People watch series on their phone, an entire series on their phones. You see, so you would see that these difficulties, they happen. Difficult seasons happen. It's not because you are a bad person. It's not because you have done something wrong. It's not because you have been cursed. I'll go there. Because there are people who feel that the reason for your difficulty is because you are cursed. You see, or God has left you. And if that was the case, there are so many people in the Bible who should not be there. And we would see that they were suffering because God left them, or a man of God cares them, and all these things. So you would see that suffering is part of the faith. Suffering is part. Now, when you accept that suffering is part of the faith, you see, I said marital pain, turbulence in marriage, difficulty in getting the fruit of the womb, divorce. It's one of the things that it will hit you, and there are people that
who goes into marriage
expecting or desiring a divorce. We still don't have the prenup culture here.
Okay,
you see, we don't have it. We don't. If you even suggest, even if you suggest it to someone, the person will tell you that, hey, are you trying to say that the marriage I'm entering it won't work or what?
You see,
okay. You see, of course, a pastor is not going to suggest a prenup, but. Anybody who suggests a prenup to you, you'll be thinking that is the person desiring that
this thing won't
work or something. So you would see that all these things, divorce is one thing. I just have a couple of things. Health challenges.
Yeah.
So we are talking about praying during difficult seasons. Health challenges are also one of the difficult seasons. Where people are spending a lot of money at the hospital, going through procedures, surgery after surgery, spending a lot of money, new drugs, new breakthroughs, and it's not working. All these things, health issues, financial, job or business challenges, I've mentioned them. And then shame. Shame, it may not be directly attributed to you, but it may be, let's say, your husband or your wife or your child has done something shameful, and it's out there in the media. Something embarrassing, or you yourself, with the passage of time, you get to hear of people who are in prison who should not be there.
Yeah.
So all kinds of things. So these are the difficult seasons, and also it's part of our Christian life. If you don't understand this, and then you have this culture of thinking that I'm in charge, I'm on top. Then when you go through difficult seasons, also then you start to feel there's something wrong with you or your Christianity or your God. God has let me down. God has abandoned me. God has swerved me. Nyame ayɛ me 419. Easy. Anyway, so I think I've
Yeah, okay, so suffering is part of our Christian faith.
Yes.
Now, that statement to the, and correct me if I'm wrong, to the Gen Z Christian, the today's child of God, will be a bit hostile. I mean, they will not accept that at all. But
because they are in charge.
But that immediately brings my mind to the discourse between Apostle Peter and Jesus. In a certain place, Peter came up to Jesus, and he was the one who always came up with questions. And he said, for those of us who have left all, we've left our parents, we've left our houses, we've left
I think it's Mark 10:28
thereabout, what do we stand to benefit? And then Jesus said to him that you're going to get double of all the things you have left. And then he added, with persecution.
Yes, I think I can read that.
Please go ahead.
Mark 10:28 to 30. Then Peter began to say unto him, Lo, we have left all and have followed thee. And Jesus answered and said, Verily I say unto you, there is no man that hath left house or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my sake and the gospel's, but he shall receive 100-fold now in this time houses and brethren and sisters and mothers and children and lands with persecutions.
And Bishop, I guess this is where we can comfortably situate the principle or the doctrine that suffering is part of our Christian faith.
Yes.
Now, if suffering is part of our Christian faith, prayer is what we use to navigate this faith. We have to pray by faith, and our understanding of this faith becomes very, very important. Now, how then does the child of God open themselves up to receive proper understanding to the faith they claim to profess and pray during these difficult times, please?
Also, first of all, let me read Psalm 34:19. It's a verse we all know.
Yes.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. You see, so righteous people are assured of affliction.
It's part of the package.
So if you go through affliction or you see another person, you see, when I was preparing, I mean, I didn't even note it now, but what came to mind was Job's friends. Job's friends also, they were certain. Job, you often no, what you are going through. Why you be what they are saying? What do you say? You are hiding.
Just confess.
Let us know, Job. Have you gone to sleep with somebody's wife that we don't know about? Have you stolen some? You very prosperous man. We all know that your level of riches, Job, you must have done
around
something.
Around the east, there's no one like it.
So Job, you have done something. So just let us know, because there is no way you can suffer like this if you have not done anything. You see, meanwhile, the Bible is telling us that many are the afflictions of the righteous. Then another verse, so that is Psalm 34 in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
Then in the New Testament, 2 Timothy 3:12, yea, and all that will live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. All that will live godly in Christ Jesus. So you would see that in the New Testament, both in the New Testament and the Old Testament, there is suffering connected to godliness or living to please God. You see, so difficult times are not always a sign of number one, curses from fathers or spiritual fathers or authority figures. It's not that when you see someone struggling, say, the disciples of Jesus asking the blind man, whose fault? Who sinned? Is it him or his mother or the father? And Jesus said, nobody sinned. This what you are looking at is for the glory of God. So difficult times are not always a sign of curses. It's not always a sign of the Lord has left him. The Lord has abandoned him. It's not always a sign of God is punishing you. It's not also a sign of God disapproves of you. So it's like God disapproves of you now. Right now, God is not happy. It's not also a sign of disobeying or leaving a spiritual father. We have all kinds of explanations for suffering because we don't understand that this faith, suffering is part of it. You see, so when it comes to prayer, I'll just lay a small foundation. The sovereignty of God. Also, we don't want to accept the element of the sovereignty of God, and that is why we do the I decree and I declare a lot. You see, because when you are coming, then I've heard another one also from the Bible, and I laugh sometimes when I hear, "If I be a man of God," hey, if I be a man of God, then they will raise their finger. If I be a man of God, then you see that we are more into a powerful man than a powerful God. So if you be a man of God, meaning you want to start to curse, you want to start to do all kinds of things. No, leave room, make room for the sovereignty of God. That God is sovereign. God can do what He wants to do. You cannot compel God. We can't force God. We're talking about our Presby and Methodist and SU backgrounds. You know the kind of prayers we used to pray then are very different from the prayers we pray now. Those days, the prayer had the element of appealing to God rather than attempting to compel God. You see, so you would see that we had more acceptance of the sovereign of God, the sovereignty of God, and you knew it, then you accepted that God is a God to be saved rather than a God to be instructed. Now we have God as a God to be instructed. So when you listen to the prayer
To
of
be
people,
commanded.
to be commanded and compelled, he has no choice but to move. You see, so now that is what God has become to some people. So when you listen to how they pray, it's almost as if God is their servant. God, you have no choice but to move. Or because I have done A, B, C, D, you must move. You see, so when we understand the element of the suffering, number one, that the suffering is part of our Christianity, and then number two, the sovereignty of God. I like the account title for some of the traditional rulers, Odenehu. Odenehu. I hardly hear it in our tree songs and appellations. Osiadeyo.
Katamanto.
That is our God.
Asajefo.
Odenehu. Because you are not the only piece of a big puzzle. There are many pieces. God is working everything out. He can't isolate you and do something that is not going to work for everything or in the grand picture. So if you accept the sovereignty of God, then you know that you can't just command God. You can't just be lifting your finger, if I be a man of God. I decree and you can't just be talking like that. And those of you who decree and declare by heart, how many of the things do you decree and declare that have happened?
Have come to pass, yeah.
How many of them have come to pass? It doesn't mean God is not powerful. It just means God is God.
Yeah.
That's all that it means. God is God. You see, so if you're a Christian, you accept that. You accept, the sovereignty of God. I've written here, unfortunately, many of us have unconsciously developed spiritually on the concept of a God we command and use, not a God we serve. You see, so when you see that, prayer is a way for you to command God rather than a way for you to appeal to Him. You see, you remember Abraham's negotiation with God
yes.
when it came to Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah. If you find 50 people, will you destroy? No.
And Abraham was very supplicative.
Yes. Yes.
I will ask one more time.
Yes.
And then he come. Okay, so let me. If I found favor with you, can I? So there has to be the understanding of God's sovereignty and how we approach Him.
Yes. Not today's. It doesn't depend on you, oh God. It depends on me. No. When you understand these things, then you begin to realize that when you are going through trying times, especially when it's a season, because times can be divided into, let's say, moments and events on one side, and then a season. A moment or an event is something hits you.
Yeah.
Right? It really was a big blow. But then you can have a season of your business not working, your marriage not working, your ministry not working, something going wrong over a period. Then that's a season. Then you see that, and it's more difficult to deal with a season than an event. You see that a season, for a period of 2, 3, 4 years, you were not working. You were trying. You look like a lazy person. People actually talk to you like a lazy person. While you are moving around, you are looking for a job. You see, you are struggling. So you are going through a difficult season. So things like that.
Yeah.
So when you understand that, look, God is sovereign. God knows why. It's not that God has misled me or God has swerved me and me 419. It's not that. You see, so in prayer, we accept the sovereignty of God, and when we come to Him, you see, when we come to Him, then we know that, look, I am appealing to him. I need a job. I need a life partner. I need my business to work. I need my daughter to be healed. I need my son to be healed. This is what I'm placing before the Lord. Before we continue, I just want to mention something. Something that I felt was very important. There is, I just typed over here, beware of the formula theology. The formula theology tells us that if you do 1, 2, 3, it will work.
As if you're working a mathematical and you have, a mathematical problem and you have to apply a formula.
These days we have a lot of
Pythagoras theorem. Yeah. You have an algebra. You have to just use,
I saw something. I think it was on TikTok. The guy was asking that, what's the use of SOHCAHTOA right now?
What?
SOHCAHTOA. You know the SOHCAHTOA?
No.
SOH, CAH, and then TOA. SOHCAHTOA. Sine.
Sine
is opposite
over hypotenuse.
Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tan is opposite of adjacent. What am I using SOHCAHTOA for?
And we had to cram all of that.
So beware of the formula theology, because the formula theology is damaging a lot of Christians. You see,
it doesn't allow God's sovereignty to have.
No, it doesn't. You see, and unfortunately, pastors are behind this formula theology. If you do 1, 2, 3, your marriage problem will be solved. If you do 1, 2, 3, your business will start working again. If you do this,
meanwhile, people have done them and it's not working.
The akwanche that you are receiving from the pastor says, bring this, bring that, bring this, bring that. Put this here. Bath with salt. Bath with salt. Go and bath by the seaside. By the shore
at midnight, naked yourself.
I have it all here. Yeah, take a bath at the shore.
Turn towards the east.
What are you turning our Christianity into? Those of you who are doing that thing, those pastors who are doing that, what are you turning our Christianity into? Because if you are putting out these formulae, you are disturbing somebody's faith. Because that is why we have a large number of people, number one, who are backsliding, and number two, who are now resorting to other faiths. Because our God doesn't work with that formula you are bringing. If you do A, B, C, D, it will certainly work. So you follow these prophetic directions. Okay, sow particular seeds. You see, sow particular seeds, and it will be solved. Do this, and it will be solved. Allow God to be God. Because if you see, the moment you bring that formula, it takes away the power from God. And you have brought the power onto yourself. So when we are praying, we are talking about difficult seasons. When we are praying and you give someone the impression that if you take your bath with salt over 3 weeks, this thing will stop. And it doesn't stop.
What are you? Where do you stand
now?
Where
do you stand? You see, so in dealing with prayer during difficult seasons, move away from the formula. These days I'm very sensitive to formula. Anything that you say that borders on, if you do this will happen, I'll tell you, what you are saying is not true. If you do this thing, no, don't introduce a formula. Take a bath with salt, praying naked and dragging your bare bottom on the floor. You see, you are praying at midnight. I've heard it before. And then somebody says, hey, this person who is doing this thing, I will pray certain prayers. What do you mean? What do you mean? I will pray certain prayers. What do you mean? You see, then it means that in the night I'll be naked. Now, you are dragging your bare bottom on the floor.
But doesn't other religions do that, and other traditional
practices? That is what I'm saying. That you are moving our Christianity. You are changing our Christianity. You see, so what you are practicing, if it is not, you see, if we can't find a scriptural or a biblical basis for it, it belongs to another faith. So what you are introducing as a quantre and things like, you see, and mind you, I'm not talking out of ignorance. So those of you who feel that when a pastor talks this way, come into school, come in by heart, you don't understand. I do understand.
In fact, I just want to push it a little further in order that before we, come back to what we're talking about, in order that we understand suffering as part of the package, and our Christian faith, and also giving some recourse to God's sovereignty, not allowing formulas to, guide you in your prayer during difficult times. What can we say is the kind of suffering we are talking about in biblical terms? Because couldn't people be suffering for what they themselves have brought on themselves?
Absolutely.
And aren't there those who also suffer because God wanted them to either become better in a certain way to teach other people? Because I'm looking at Job, while one was yet speaking, another, and while one was yet speaking,
Yes.
another one. And then in the verse, chapter 1, verse 20 and 21 said, and Job woke up, shaved, put some ashes on him, and then he worshipped.
Yes.
No. So how are we able to tell that this suffering, I am suffering because of the faith, and this one I brought it on myself?
Okay. Interestingly, I put together about 6 verses on suffering, and Romans 8:17. It says, and if children, then heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may also be glorified together. So there is suffering with Christ in order to be glorified with Christ. 2 Thessalonians 1:5, suffering for the kingdom, which is a manifest token of the righteous judgment of God, that ye may be counted worthy of the kingdom of God, for which ye also suffer. You see, so I'm bringing each verse talks about a reason for suffering, or a good reason for suffering. As Reverend Fred said, that it shouldn't be because you don't work well. Can't have a query and then you say that we are suffering for the kingdom. Bruh, you didn't come to work early. You have not been coming to work early. There are a number of things that you don't do well. You have received a warning before and you continued. So you are receiving the query for bad work. No, it's not suffering for Christ. Do you understand? Fine. They say this one is all for the kingdom. It's not for the kingdom. It's not for the kingdom. You see, and then 1 Timothy chapter 4 verse 10, suffering for trusting in God. For therefore we both labor and suffer reproach, because we trust in the living God, who is the savior of all men, especially of those that believe. So we are, so he said, we both labor and suffer reproach because we trust in the living God. There is a kind of suffering that you go through because you trusted in the living God, or because you trust. Hebrews 11:24-25. This is about Moses. By faith Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer. So there's suffering by choice. That is, there's an alternative that is ungodly, and then you choose the godly alternative that goes with suffering. That one is also there. Then 1 Peter 3:17, it says, for it is better if the will of God be so, that ye suffer for well-doing. It's better that ye suffer for well-doing. Suffer for well-doing. Sister, don't suffer because of your attitude in the office and then say that they are all ganging up against me. No. You see, suffer for well-doing than for evil-doing. I think that addresses what you mentioned. And a couple of them. 1 Peter 4:16, it says, yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, let him glorify God on this behalf. Then 1 Peter 4:19, wherefore let him that suffer according to the will of God. So you can see that, listen, our faith, it goes with suffering. Let nobody make you feel like if there is any kind of suffering, you need to bath at the seashore. You need to drag your bare bottom on the floor. You need to do aquanchere with salt or with. Don't let anybody push you into that. Look, our parents' generation of Christians, they were not doing these things. So my father's capacity for suffering, my father's capacity for going through this without thinking there's something wrong with his Christianity. You see, but now anybody who experiences something feels there's something wrong with their Christianity. There's something wrong.
Did we, Bishop, at a certain time digress or deviate from teaching the gospel? I mean, did we dilute it? Because you see, if we are beginning to see a great number of our church folk, not relating to suffering for the kingdom and for the gospel, isn't it that at a certain point we didn't teach them?
I think so. You see, I think so, and I don't have I'm not an anti-charismatic person, I should say, but I think that what we have done, and predominantly the charisma to prophetic strain, is to get people to feel that everything is blissful, and that victory is guaranteed everywhere we have. And sometimes some of the themes that we have for the year, the themes make no provision for a battle or for suffering or anything like that. This my year of dominion, my year of dominion over finances, my year of Onya. If every you see anybody in that church who doesn't experience the theme as it is said, begins to feel that there is something wrong with them. You see, is it that he's not sowing a seed? I think I've mentioned before on this program. One day I was on air, and on the program I was talking about
Yes.
the midnight prayer program. And there's a lady who called that she's been believing God for a life partner, and she said it on air, and she was like, "Oh, also, I've prayed a lot, I've fasted, I've sown seeds in pastors' lives, I've bought instruments for the church, pews for the church, I've done." Okay, she was giving her CV. Okay, these are the things I have done. So for what should I do again? And I said, nothing. Let's believe God. I said, nothing. I'm not about to add to your burden that right now, cut your hair. Right now, do perm cut. The direction I'm going to give you. You see, if you're going to follow that, this pastor will say that do a perm cut. Another pastor will say that you
braid your hair.
Another one will say that you will wake up. You see, so you are there. You are captive because you haven't accepted that things
you become
take
a puppet
time.
on everybody's string.
Yes, so that's it. And then the theme was prayer. So I'll just come back to prayer. What prayer does. You see, because part of the problem too is an understanding of what prayer does. You see, so when we don't know what prayer does and we think prayer does a particular or specific thing, what happens is that what prayer doesn't do, we believe prayer does. So when it doesn't happen, then we get disappointed. You get it? So prayer doesn't do this, but then you believe that prayer does it. Then you expect that the prayer will result in this particular thing. The prayer will result in this. So as you are praying, you are expecting a particular thing. I mean, sometimes you see someone will go and then they tell you that the direction is that eat lemons. And then the thing will change, and then you go and you eat lemons, and then
and you develop stomach ulcer.
And then the thing doesn't change, and then you come to the servant of God who said you should eat the lemons. You see, and then you tell him that it doesn't change. He said, the lemons, which type did you eat? You say, oh, niabreno. And then why did you eat the ones that are ripe? God. You should have eaten the unripe ones. Now you go and eat the unripe ones. And you come back and tell him that it didn't work. He said, the unripe ones, which size? They say, I ate the big one. Why did you eat the big one? You should have eaten the small one. You see, so then you are there.
You know that the foundation is a lie. Out of lies.
That's what it is. You see, so let's look at what prayer does. So when you understand what prayer does, then you would know when some particular things are happening, that is one of the options. You see, like taking a particular medication, the side effects are known. A good doctor will explain this can happen. They will tell you that this particular BP medication you are taking, these are some of the side effects, A, B, C, D. So if you experience any of the side effects, tell me, I'll change it for you. I'll change it. There's another one that does it means this one is incompatible with your body. With your blood group and all that. So prayer results in, from Hebrews 4:16, prayer results in the first one, mercy. It says, let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace that we may obtain mercy. So it's one of 6 things or 5 things that I've typed over you. One of 5. One of the things you get from prayer is mercy. You see, why mercy? Mercy because if your experience, the difficulty you are going through is a consequence of sin or a mistake, then the mercy of God will come into it. You see, so that we may obtain mercy. So when we come boldly to the throne of grace, mercy is one of the things we can get, so that if indeed indeed
Yeah.
your experience is because you spoke by heart. You have not honored somebody. You have done something wrong
Against somebody
You have done
or against God and
yes, you
all
have
of
spoiled somebody's business. Maybe inadvertently you did something, or even deliberately, not inadvertently, deliberately you did something. So prayer brings mercy, number one. Number two, from the same Hebrews 4:16, grace. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace. Grace to help.
Yeah.
So we pray, and then now God gives grace to help. So right now you begin, because you are struggling, you need help. It may be a business that is not responding to your efforts. It may be something, your marriage, something that you are doing is not responding to your efforts.
So during difficult times, your prayer can attract His grace to
yes,
strengthen you to go
yes,
through.
yes. So
Like-
grace to help. It will help you. The grace will help you.
It may not immediately alleviate it.
No,
but
no.
it will.
It will
give
help you.
And isn't that there is something that God is using what you're going through in those difficult times to work in you?
Absolutely. You see, because you may be very sure of yourself that you have a particular trait.
As for me, I will never do this.
As
As
for
for
me,
me, this. But for all you know, God is also
Yeah.
working.
Jesus knew Peter. He knew he would deny me 3 times.
But Peter said, "Me,
Wabagbo on the back. Like the Argentina players before the World Cup final. He said they will die with Messi.
Don't remind me of my pain.
Oh, so you are supporting Argentina now.
I didn't say that. I only said don't remind me of my pain.
You see, so prayer can result in, as I said, number one, mercy. Number two, grace. The grace of God to help you in your time of need. And then number three, peace. Philippians 4:6-7. Be careful for nothing, but in everything. You see, and in all these things, I have not even spoken about an instant stoppage of whatever problem there is.
Yeah.
I said the prayer can bring mercy. It can bring grace. The third thing prayer can bring is peace. Philippians 4:6-7. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. 7. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. He didn't say that the situation will change. You will change, not the situation. Your state will change. So he will give you peace. And he says, peace that passes all understanding. It means you will have a calmness and a composure that is surprising given what you are going through.
Yes, and people may not even know that you're going through some stuff.
Yeah. There was a time when one of my children went through a heart surgery. Before that child's 3rd birthday. A heart surgery. It's awful. At Kolebu Cardio.
So you're talking about somebody below 2 years?
Yes. Below 3.
Yeah, I mean, you're below 3 years.
Yes, a heart surgery. And before my child went through the heart surgery, I think it was just a day before or the actual day that, for some time I was coming on radio, I was presenting my programs, so many things. It's just those who are very close to me who knew. You know, so when it passed and all that, and then later I referred to it, I said, hey! And you were coming like that, you know. But I had two accidents. I should add, so that I'm not a Superman. I had 2 accidents that were a result of the stress you know. But I could come on radio. I was on another radio station. I was encouraging people, strengthening people, praying for people, and all that. But you see, he says the peace of God that passes all understanding. Then number 4. You see, the effects of prayer. I said number 1 is mercy, number 2 is grace, number 3 is peace, and number 4, deliverance. It's also, you can call on God and he will actually deliver you. It is also an option. Psalm 107:6. And they cried unto the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them out of their distresses. You see, so it is also something, but it's not the only thing. We have seen that he provides grace sometimes. We can see that he provides peace, so that the situation hasn't changed. Because even the Apostle Paul mentioned the thorn in the flesh. He said 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away. He said, my grace is sufficient for you. For my strength is made perfect in your weaknesses. You see, so there are times, so when we understand this, we know that the difficult season, when you are praying in that difficult season, there are a number of possible answers. And they are all possible from God. Then a deliverance. And then number 5, Matthew 11:28, rest. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden,
and I will give you rest. Bishop, time will never be the best of allies when your conversation begins to get a lot more interesting. Someone has come via our WhatsApp line Uncle Ben says, good evening, men of God. Prayers are indeed matters of our heart that we encounter in our lives that we cannot bear with our strength, knowledge, and wisdom. And therefore, the need to calling on the name of the Lord for best solutions. Unfortunately, most of us tend to wax cold when situations are fine. But when life turns its ugly dark goggles at us, then the Spirit of God in man pushes us to reactivate the continuing prayers, and in some instances we add fasting. Difficult times must be embarrassed by
I believe he means
must be
embraced.
embraced, yes, okay, must be embraced by Christians and not to be seen as God's neglect, Uncle Ben. Without unless you want to say something about what Uncle Ben has said, but what will your closing remarks be?
Also, for my closing remarks would be, when you go through difficult times, as a Christian, don't let anybody convince you that you've been cursed, you've done something wrong, God has left you. The characters in the Bible, all the people that God used, they went through difficult times. So don't be convinced.
In fact, none of them had it easy.
None of them.
None of them, including Jesus himself.
And if it's the same God we are serving, the God of the Bible, do not let anybody convince you that there is something wrong with you. There is something that a certain direction will solve. You get it? That if you do this, if you bath with salt, if you pray naked, if you bath with seawater, if you do anything, that formula life, it takes God's sovereignty away. Allow God to be God, and don't just go manipulating God with a formula that if you do these things, it will change. God is faithful. You see, I learned something from a particular guy online. He's a Christian. Initially, when I was listening to him, I didn't realize it. Then later, all his examples, and he said sometimes the lesson is in the journey, not the destination. He says sometimes we feel God has disappointed us, or God said, go here. And you feel that going to that destination is going to transform your life, or there's going to be a change there. And he said the instruction was about the journey. It was about what God will do in your life on your journey from here to Tepa, or to Goso, or to Wa. It is the journey, it's not the destination. So God did not swerve you. God did not lie. God did not mislead you.
Bishop, are you saying we should just allow God to do with us what he wants to do with us?
Yes. And when you pray, the grace, the mercy, and the peace. So you would see that you will go through that season. What did David say in Psalm 23 verse 4? Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. The name of the valley itself was scary enough. A valley called the valley of the shadow of death. And also he said, I will walk through. He didn't say I was running through. So sometimes prayer helps you to walk through the valley of the shadow of death so that you don't fall down within that valley. Thank you.
Bishop Emmanuel Oko Mensah.
Reverend Oko Mensah.
Reverend, on my this thing's Bishop Oko Mensah, that's what I have. Bishop Emmanuel Oko Mensah, thanks so much for coming through. We've been trying to get you, but thanks for making some time with us. Our regards and blessings, love to the church and the family. Dear listener, thank you very much for being a part of this evening's Bible Answer Man. And as we leave here, the Writers Project will be coming through. Dr. Martin Egblewogbe and some literary people will be coming up at 8:30. Keep your dials locked up here. And Jojo Bediako, Bishop Jojo says good evening to you. He'll be here shortly for the Rivers of Worship. Beauty for Ashes. Did I say Rivers of Worship? Beauty for Ashes. Adjutant, sorry, I'm changing your program. Beauty for Ashes from around 9:30 to 12 midnight. And early in the morning at 4 a.m., God Giving Us Grace. This is your day. Your morning devotional program will also come your way. God bless you. Keep your dials locked up here. This has been Bible Answer Man with Reverend Fred Odwe McDavis.
For the world today, oh Lord, above and there. right now.